Oh, okay. The mic unmuted itself. Hello, I'm Dan Hollowell. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. As you may have noticed, I am not Joe Dog, nor do I play him on TV. Joe is off at a convention this weekend, if I do remember correctly. And believe me, it's
Dave's
been
not
pretty
here.
busy.
Yeah,
Dave's not here, man. Somebody's
I believe
saying
he.
something nasty about Roger, man.
I believe he went to MomoCon. I believe is which one he's at.
Oh, okay,
Might
yeah.
be wrong though.
I've got friends that go to that every year because they're big into
Hey
the
Joe.
anime scene. So
Hey
we
Rick,
got
gentlemen.
we got Joe Bachman, we got Richie, we got John, and I'm no longer in charge. It's a free for all.
You can bet your life. Okay, stakes are high, and so am I. Got me
Uh,
rocking with bandits. Now, see, here, our younger viewers have no clue what I was just talking about.
yeah, and some of the older ones aren't real sure. There's too many
I'm pretty
references
sure
that
some
got
of the
crossed
older
the
viewers,
streams.
no, I'm pretty sure some of the older viewers are falling off of their, you know, Craftmatic adjustable beds, laughing their asses off. And
Falling off of our mobility scooters.
scooters.
Uh, ah, well,
Dig Nibbit, all those young kids and their old music.
Here's the thing. So many people are always saying, if it's too loud, you're too old. No, if it's too loud, you're too young because you can actually hear and it actually hurts. If you're old, you're losing your hearing. You got to turn it up so you can hear just a
The
whisper.
one truth of music, is nobody, no composer ever has made old people music. Every bit of music that's ever been written was written for young people back in their day. They just got older. So,
um,
hey,
1812 Overture might have been written for old people. I don't know. Um,
Now I want to write something in the vein of Lawrence Welk, just to prove you wrong, John.
hey, when ragtime came out, it was radical music. Okay, people tried to ban it. Okay, when swing music came out, radical music, people tried to ban it. Elvis Presley got a lot of grief for doing his thing. So did
uh-huh.
Buddy, Chuck Berry. Just every time a new style of music comes out, people give them grief. So
Wasp,
Franz Liszt.
Anthrax, Iron Maiden,
I,
Black Sabbath.
I'm pretty sure Lauren. Okay, give an example. One performer that back in his day, nobody would ever accuse him of being a radical. Okay, Pat Boone.
Oh, come on now. He wore white belts after Easter.
Okay, then he went and did that album he did in a metal mood,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed up at the Grammys wearing the leather vest, dressed like a biker, and he did this celebrity golf tournament here in Chattanooga for Bethel Bible Village. Bethel Bible Village is like a foster home for kids whose parents are in prison for various reasons. Okay. So they bring kids in, and it's kind of like a Bible thumper hippie commune for kids, And yeah, he used to host a celebrity golf tournament to raise money for that place every year.
Oh, did he invite Alice Cooper? Alice loves golf.
Apparently he did. But here's the thing, he did that album. They told him they no longer wanted to be associated with him because he did heavy metal music.
So did
And you know what?
Christopher Lee.
That same day, I went out and bought his CD.
We'll
Got it
show
right
them.
here. Got it right here in the closet. Okay.
I won't say that's an appropriate place for it.
No, I just got my CD players in the closet too.
Oh. Well, about 3-4 years ago, one of my favorite bands, Hawkwind, did a brand new CD of some of their classic music, and they did it in big band style.
Hmm.
Not quite swing, but as far as you could
Tommy
do
Dorsey, yeah.
yeah, it is as long as you could do space rock as if Tommy Dorsey had invented it, yeah, or Glenn Miller.
Glenn,
Um,
Glenn, Glenn Miller, one of my favorites. There
uh,
was a theater up at Fort Knox, Kentucky, over in Disney Barracks area. It was the Glenn Miller Theater.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Because
mean,
when
he was a big
when
hero.
his plane disappeared, he was a major in the U.S. Army.
Yeah. Um, I wish that was not an unsolved mystery. I really do, because it's been bothering me more than Jack the Ripper and some of the other things where there were actual crimes involved, but
My
Glenn Miller
guess,
disappearing just absolutely spooks the
well, there was a lot of
bejesus
that in
out of
World
me.
War II. Especially any plane that had to go over the ocean.
Yeah, well, he was crossing the channel. It was not a safe place at that time.
Well, it wasn't bad, but I mean, the the biggest problem with crossing the channel at the time, the D-Day had already taken place. The troops were already moving through France. There was air power all over the place,
Yeah.
mostly Allied, of course. And the problem was you can't get a word in edgewise on the few radio frequencies they had in those days. If you've got 5,000 aircraft in the air, they're not going to hear just one little transport plane cruising along on its own if it has a problem.
Hmm.
If somebody heard that one plane, it'd be a miracle
Oh,
because they're listening to the bomber flights and the fighter escorts. And
the the worst that could have happened was that it was a friendly fire incident. And
I'm
that's one of the suppositions, one of the theories that people have promoted that he got sh-
and nobody
he got
and
shot
nobody
down
wanted
by
to
his
admit
own
to shooting
side.
down Glenn Miller's plane. Yeah,
Yeah, really.
I could see that one. There's three possibilities. And number one, the plane had mechanical problems, serious mechanical problems. And considering the type of transport they were on, those planes tended to catch a lot of bullets occasionally because they were used, it's the same plane they used to drop paratroopers. Yeah. And they go in low, they get shot at all the time. And it may have had a mechanical failure, structural failure over the channel. Two, somehow, mix up in communications. They flew over an area they weren't supposed to be flying over and got shot at by flak guns. But they weren't expecting to get shot at by flak guns, so they weren't doing anything to avoid the flak guns. And
Hmm.
that took them out. And that's another friendly fire type thing, probably.
Yeah.
And then number three, Allied air cover shot them down. Just thinking they were something. How you could mistake a DC-3 for any other damn thing on the air, I don't know. That is
Especially when it was headed away from England.
a very distinctive aircraft. And so I'm thinking theory one is probably the problem, probably the most likely. They just unforeseen stress problems with the airframe.
Yeah, the plane was not in the best shape when they lifted off.
I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was late 44 or summer of 44, if I remember correctly. Let me look that up.
That does sound right, but I'd have to look it up, and I'm too lazy to do that shit. So,
Glenn Miller, American band leader, arranger, and composer. Put on my old people glasses here. You know how I know they're old people glasses?
because you're old.
Because I have 4 pair of them.
Buy them at Walmart in 4-packs now, don't you?
I buy them at the grocery store. Yeah, actually the main reason I bought them was because I was at the grocery store and couldn't read the damn cans. Let's see here. Anybody talk? Oh, heck, that no wonder it got shot down. It does look like a German airplane. I was thinking it was a DC-3. It was not. It was a Nordun UC-64A Norseman. Looks like the thing Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic in.
Only bigger.
Not by much.
That's right. There weren't that many people aboard.
Looks like it could hold about 8 passengers, maybe 10 at the most. Hang on a second. Throw that up here real quick.
What, they borrow it from the U.S. mail?
I need to wear these glasses more often.
That ain't big at all.
No, I mean, when I said 8 passengers, I was being
very generous.
Very liberal. Yes. You might be able to stuff 10 people in there, and don't laugh.
They'd have to be very friendly with each other.
Well, you got a pilot, a co-pilot, and they probably didn't need a co-pilot. So somebody, probably Miller, was sitting in the co-pilot seat. And then I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passengers easy, maybe 8 if you cram them in there. So
yeah. That thing does not look like it's got much interior volume at all.
No, I mean, look at the door. If you look at the door, that wing's got to be about 10 feet off the ground. I could look up the plane and give you the well, wait a minute. Why not?
Yeah, you're right. Still, I'm betting the piano player was in the cargo compartment.
Oh, man, they've got a tombstone for him at Arlington National Cemetery, but it's still listing him as MIA.
And it always will. I mean,
let me look up that airplane. See what it says. Oh, wow. They make a lot of seaplanes out of those things. Float planes?
Evidently cool. One too few.
The majority of them are float planes, actually. Apparently, it's a Canadian plane. Yeah, Canadian single-engine bush plane.
Oh, okay. That explains it. The geese got them.
Runs off of maple syrup, eh?
I'd be willing to bet it was a Canadian
plane. It was molasses. Yeah.
It was a Canadian plane. It was speaking English, and then they flew over France. And you know how the French are about Canadians speaking English.
Oh. I'm going to have to refill this real quick.
Oh, my God. Those things are still in operation.
Well, of course they are.
Well, one of them isn't. But
how many Goonie birds are still flying?
Oh, has a crew of 1, a pilot, and a 10-person capacity.
Okay, good guess. And you're going by the volume that you could deduce from the height of the door. That's excellent math right there.
Actually, I've always wanted to get a little airplane like that because that would be cool as hell. Hey, win the lottery, buy me a plane, buy a cabin up in Alaska and a big fuel tank, and just run stupid people out to get eaten by grizzly bears.
Been in your car driving around at HallowCon, going to the grocery store. I ain't getting a plane with you. I've seen you drive.
I want to pet a grizzly.
Wait a minute. Let me get my camera.
I want to pet a murder teddy bear.
Yeah. Hey, if I were a park ranger at Yellowstone National Park, okay, I'd be making a fortune putting all those videos on like America's Funniest Home Videos or
America's Stupidest People,
or when stupid people get bit. They had that one, America's Funniest Animals, and the opposite version of it was when stupid people get bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of which, we were back on Glenn Miller. Let me see. Glenn Miller's plane disappeared. 15 December. The weather was bad. The plane kept getting delayed. It started out on the 13th, then the 14th, then the 15th. Sounds like a NASA operation. Let's see here.
ULA.
Oh gosh. They didn't even realize the plane was missing for 3 days. So that they finally figured out on Monday, December 18th. Figures nobody was working the weekend, too close to Christmas. Don't laugh. And that was so he disappeared on December 15th, 44. Sometimes I was thinking it was warmer than that.
Well,
did they ever posthumous events?
it just goes to show you that puddle jumpers are not the safest aircraft in the world.
Well, it was World War II. I mean, there weren't a lot of safe aircraft in World War II.
Yeah, the ones on the ground, well, depends on where they were parked. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I remember a certain event at Pearl Harbor that wasn't safe to be in an airplane on the ground or in the air.
I just watched a couple of videos on the Battle of Midway from the Japanese perspective. So they didn't know where the U.S. forces were during the video, and surprise!
One of my favorite war movies, and it's just this little dinky thing that HBO made, is The Great Raid, and it's about about World War II Japan, and they're doing the raid on. I want to say it's in the Philippines, and they're doing the raid on a prison camp run by the Japanese with a bunch of Americans that survived the Bataan Death March. And the reason they sent in a newly formed Ranger unit. This Ranger unit had not seen combat before. And they went in, and the reason they were so adamant about getting these guys out is the Japanese had started executing prisoners at other prisoner of war camps.
Oh.
And on one of the prisoner of war camps, they had them build air raid shelters, put them all in the air raid shelters, did an air raid drill, put them all in the air raid shelters, closed the doors, soaked the air raid shelter in gasoline, and set it on fire with all the prisoners inside. And so they said, no, we got to get these guys out. And this Ranger unit went in and executed one of the most perfect missions ever. Out of this entire Ranger battalion that went in, they took 2 casualties. The unit's physician, their doctor, got hit with a mortar shell, and another guy got hit with something, I can't remember what. And then they lost a few of the prisoners trying to get out. But they were in rough shape anyway, so just the fact that they got out as many as they did was a miracle.
Yeah, really.
But if you ever get to see that movie, I highly recommend it. It's kind of it's a little mushy in parts, but it's the planning and the actual execution of the mission is pretty good. So.
Evidently, the Japanese were not averse to filming their operations in the early years of the war, because in elementary school I was shown Japanese footage of the I can't use that word. The subjugation of Nanking in China. And one of the scenes that was shown was a lot of people being buried alive and the ground heaving as they tried to claw their way out of the ground before they suffocated. The fact that I can remember that uh, 58 years later just goes to show you the power of black and white footage. Um,
I had a
and evidently, this was filmed in order to support the Japanese war
um, I had
among
this.
the Japanese.
I know this girl, and she posted this on Facebook the other day, and it was this. There was a lady that worked at the Berlin Zoo in World War II, and when the bombing started, the zoo took several bomb hits because Hitler had built a giant bunker in one quarter of the zoo that was a flat tower. So there's flat guns on top. So when the planes came over, they were shooting at the airplanes coming in, and of course the airplanes were
Shooting back.
showing their appreciation by dropping bombs in the flat tower, which was in zoo property, basically. And if you ever see that picture of the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church in downtown Berlin, it's the big old Gothic church where half the steeple's been blown away.
Mm-hmm.
That, they said it was bomb damage. It wasn't bomb. If a bomb had landed on that church, the whole church would be gone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was damage from the guns on the flat tower shooting at bombers. Well, the shells go up. If they don't hit anything, they come back down.
Back down.
And apparently one of them hit the steeple of the church and shot the steeple off. But
Gravity's such a wonderful thing, isn't it?
This lady-
Except on Monday mornings
when
when the alarm clock goes off.
when the zoo started taking damage from the bombs, she had this African hornbill. It's like a stork with a really big bill.
Mm-hmm.
She was the handler for it. She took it home and put it in her bathroom. And there's this great picture of her in the bathroom giving fish to this hornbill. But she showed this. She showed it. Oh, she took took the bird home to take care of it. I didn't want to show her all the other pictures from the Berlin Zoo with the dead baby elephants and people eating zebras and antelopes and stuff like that. It's because a lot of the zoo animals that weren't killed immediately in the bombing after the Russians took the city or while they were taking the city, the Berliners couldn't get any food. So they were eating dead horses, zoo animals, farm animals, whatever,
Yeah, that's why there's no zoo in Venezuela at the moment, because due to the poverty level there, the people that live in Venezuela have eaten everything except the trees.
There was this famous drug dealer, Pablo Escobar,
I remember that name.
started his own zoo on it. He had this nice big hacienda, started a zoo on his property. Okay. Brought in all these exotic zoo animals from Africa to put in his zoo. Well, after he was killed, extradited, whatever the hell happened to him, they went in and basically they managed to get all the zoo animals out of his private zoo into other zoos, except for the hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses? I don't know.
Hippopotami.
They couldn't catch them because somehow or another they had gotten out. They broke the enclosure that had a big lake and stream. It's run from a nearby stream, had broken out and gotten into the river system. And they have thrived because there are no predators.
For
in that will
hippopotami do not have very many predators to start
with, and there's nothing in South America that stands a chance against one of them big somethings. And they have thrived, and they've been plentiful and multiplied.
I like that.
And they have a problem now with these hippopotami. None of the zoos want them because they're too hard to catch and Nobody wants to put that kind of money into catching them and then transporting them and all that sort of stuff like that.
Well, you're talking about something half the size of an elephant. Yeah.
Nobody wants one for Christmas? Sorry,
Well,
I had to go there. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Let me type. I want to.
go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, we're free forming. Look it up.
Escobar
Hippos.
Hippopotamuses in Colombia.
Hippopotamuses. Yeah. Okay.
That's hippopotamuses. Mrs. I'm saying that 3 times.
Hippopotamus, Mississippi.
Hang on a minute. I will show you what I'm talking about, and you'll understand why I have trouble with this word. That's what we get for letting scientists speak Latin. Damn it.
Latin is a dead language.
can't-
It's very plain to see. It killed
can't
off
do
all the
anything in
Romans, and now it's killing me.
That's the title of what I'm reading.
Hippopotamuses. Okay.
That's hey, it's straight from Wikipedia.
Somebody's getting inspired. That's good enough.
Hippopotamuses for people that need fat inspiration. Okay.
Hey, we're not fat shaming.
4 hippopotamuses were kept by Pablo Escobar in the late 70s, and upon his death in 93, were allowed to wander his unattended estate. By 2019, their population had grown to approximately 100 individuals. Causing problems, they may harm the native flora and fauna in the area, as well as posing significant threat to human population in the area. I wonder if he ever fed any of his opposition to the hippopotamuses. Muses.
Well, they're not.
Tell them to the hippopotamus.
They're omnivorous. They're not carnivorous, but if he were so inclined, yes, that is a distinct possibility. I wouldn't expect any preference for a long pig to be passed on genetically, but an easy food source is an easy food source.
Apparently, they're endangering other species in the area, particularly manatees, otters, caiman, turtles, the Dall's toe-headed turtle, and the Magdalena river turtle.
All right, so keep Nick away from that area. All right.
Mm-hmm. But
You beat me to it, Rich.
endangering caimans. I mean,
We want to protect our manatee man.
those caimans are like skinny crocodiles, so
They're crocodiling, yeah.
that one may be a blessing in disguise, but we won't ever know.
In 2009, one adult hippopotamus called Pepe was killed by hunters under authorization of local authorities. When the photo of the dead hippo became public, it caused considerable controversy among animal rights groups. Well, tell them to get some money together and come buy a hippo.
Yeah, well, I mean, it caused considerable celebration when it wound up in the local grocery store.
Ooh, in 2017, a wild male hippo was caught, castrated, and released again. But it cost about $50,000 US.
Well, you know, somebody brave enough to catch a hippo and castrate it costs money.
And that's the last time I ever travel there again. Worst vacation ever.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
What do you do for a living? Oh, I castrate hippopotamus.
Is there much call for that? In South America? Yes.
In Colombia, yeah. I'm making $50,000 a shot in Colombia, yeah.
You would be surprised.
That's 25,000 a ball. Jeez, that's almost as good as Michael Jordan right there. I don't think he made 50,000 a ball.
I don't think I would express that quite the same way,
Mhm.
but I understand your intent, but our audience may not be so forgiving. All five of them. Um,
I was hoping Stephanie would show up. She was talking about it.
Yeah, well, um, given everything, if she's in pain from the arthritis and her knee problems and whatever, or she's tired.
You want to know the bad part? Dan, out of those 5 viewers, they're all on the YouTube page, Stupid O'Clock YouTube page. And I think me and you are 2 of them.
Well, that means that
Okay.
Carl, Donna, and Dawn are the other 3. So the usual suspects. Hey, we're not trying to get monetized. Well, Joe Dog might be trying to get monetized, but that ain't happening real quick. At least we've managed to not get demonetized, even though we're not monetized. So,
So I went to buy that brisket today, and standing in the line at Food Line. And the kid in front of me, he works at Food Line, but he's just getting off work, so he's buying groceries to go home to a barbecue. Right? He's got a 30-pack of Bud Light. And if you look real close, see that line right there? That was from me biting my tongue.
Son, are you sure you don't want to go back and buy some beer?
No, okay. Not that I've got any dog in this Dylan Mulvaney fight. Okay, I don't care who they use to sell that stuff.
I don't care about that. I just think Bud Light is just a crappy beer.
But exactly, I'm like, do you know why American beer is served ice cold?
Because it tastes like crap.
So you can tell it from piss. And I'm like,
having sampled beer from around the world, I can definitively tell you it all tastes like piss. And the only reason I know what piss tastes like is because I have grandchildren. I've had to change their diapers and I got pissed on.
I've sadly
you're out of the will.
But yeah, the reason that a lot of alcoholic beverages are served over ice and ice cold and stuff like that is so that it actually chills your taste buds so that your taste buds can't taste how powerful the drink is, because 90% of the populace can't stand liquor at its full strength.
You're forgetting the big one. Prohibition in America. During Prohibition, they started bringing in crappier and crappier alcohol.
And we got to like it.
It's all the only choice. So that was where cocktails got invented. Was during Prohibition, because they put crap in with the alcohol so that you wouldn't notice the taste of the crappy alcohol. And ice, like he said, kills the flavor of the crappy drinks. So.
And here I am drinking room temperature Crown Royal.
That's the best way to drink whiskey.
And ice cold Natural Light.
Natty Light.
Hey, I drank other things beforehand, but I was involved with a young lady, and exactly my age at the time. So, and that was her preference, and I did not see any reason to buy two different brands at the same time. So I got used to the taste of it, and now it's just water. Um, Keeps me hydrated. Um,
Sam Adams makes their seasonal beer. I like their Boston Lager. It's pretty good.
that does taste good. Yes, it does.
This is the summer ale. It's a lemon flavored ale, not too lemony. Doesn't taste like lemonade with beer in it or anything like that, but it's pretty good. It's one of my favorite summertime beers.
Mhm.
That and Line and Cool's Summer Shandy,
Oh, Shandy, yeah,
which is pretty much lemonade with beer in it. But
yeah, that's what Shandy is. Yeah.
now I like that one pretty much this time of year. But my favorite one this time of year, also from Sam Adams. Oh,
Oh, that one matches the green screen.
yeah,
So.
it has a green label. This is the Porch Rocker, which is also a citrus flavored. I'm trying to lemon Radler. I have no idea what a Radler is, but it's tasty.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Gotta look up everything.
Yeah, well, it's compulsory. None of the rest of us are understanding.
The first thing I find when I type in Radler in the search is, what the hell is a Radler? American Radler. Let's see here. This is from the American Craft Beer website. Let's see. The average Joe's at ACB. See, the history behind Radler style is almost as zany as the half beer, half fruit soda concoction itself. But to better understand the Radler, it's conceived in Bavaria.
I don't like the sound of this already.
It's a Bavarian concoction.
Okay.
Started in the mid 18th century.
Hey, just because it's old don't mean it's good.
And at the same time, the English version was known as a shandy gaff, which of course got shortened to shandy.
I have seen that in books. Yes.
So basically, a Radler is a shandy. It's just a different name. One is English. One is English. One is German. Okay, that's what he says. You know, I'm still upset that Facebook doesn't have a WTF emoji.
That would be the most used emoji on Facebook.
If Facebook were really giving us what we wanted, they would have a WTF emoji. And I'm just curious as to what it would look like. Like it'd be a smiley face with the frown on, like the confused frown, and hands like this, like.
Mm-hmm. And the second most used emoji would be Dilligaff. And that would cover 98% of most people's reactions. Oh. I mean, unless it was somebody in your immediate family, WTF and Dilligaff would pretty much cover everything that gets posted.
For us, Rich? Or... I used to have a poster in my barracks room that said Dilligaff on it, and people come in, what the hell's a Dilligaff?
There is a fellow that I work with.
I put it on my short timers calendar. So.
There is a fellow that I work with who has a music publishing company, and it is called Dilligaff Records, CDs, tapes, and I don't know if he does MP3s on thumb drives, but probably should these days. And basically, it's got his face, baseball cap turned backwards, grumpy look on his face with his arms crossed. And one plant manager was trying to get him fired. Kept coming up to him and asking him what dilligaff means. And basically his answer was always, if you don't know, I don't think you've got the intelligence for me to explain it to you.
My news feed popped up, and I'm reading some stuff here. Russian gunmaker Kalashnikov upgrades the AK-12 designed to suit the Ukraine war, state media reports. So apparently they've got a new rifle just for dying in Ukraine.
Yeah. It doesn't shoot, and you can't damage it by throwing it down and holding up a white flag.
It's covered in bubble wrap so it doesn't break when they drop it and run.
Comes equipped with its own French flag. You know, the white one? Goes on the bayonet mount so you can raise it higher.
And the other one I've got, this is kind of interesting. Take it you're all familiar with the Suez Canal. It runs, Egypt down into the Red Sea, or runs from the Mediterranean to the Red Sea. Iraq is going to create a canal, and it's going to go through southern Iraq, toward the Suez Canal. It's going to hook in to that area. How, I don't know, because Iraq doesn't have a Mediterranean border. But they're going to go from the Persian Gulf over toward the Mediterranean, which should keep the Iranians from pissing everybody off down at the Strait of Hormuz. It's a brilliant move, because if they can get that thing completed, they're going to make a fortune off of all the damn oil tankers coming through that area.
We'll see how that works out.
They're working on it now. I wish they had they don't have a map that I can see here. It's a video, so they're showing you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
And what I want to see is where the canals. I'd love to see a map.
Where do they propose to dig this thing?
It's got to run right along the Kuwaiti border. That's the flattest terrain they've got, right through there.
So 50 million people with spoons are going to be working 5 millennia to dig a canal.
Well, the thing is, no, they've actually got a good construction workforce for that sort of thing. There's a lot of people.
I thought that was all tied up with all the construction in the big rich company up north of there. What is it? Country, not company. The one with the ridiculous construction projects. I know you know which one I'm talking about, even though I don't know which one I'm talking about.
Okay. Turkey has several ridiculous construction projects, and they're just
it's a little bitty postage stamp company trying to build their own islands and stuff.
That's not Iraq. That's Qatar or Kuwait. Qatar. I call it Qatar because that's what it is. No, Yemen's having a civil war. They're not really building anything right now. It's either Qatar, or Kuwait, and they're building those like palm tree shaped islands, and like they've got an island that looks like a Star Destroyer or something like that. Saudi Arabia wants to do that 180-mile long skyscraper. It's literally going to cut the country in half. It's going to run from North Saudi Arabia to South Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be one long building.
180-mile long building.
Yes.
In the Arabian desert.
Yes. Have you not? I'm surprised you guys have. Of course, I get all this news feed from Middle East, but
I don't know. It's what I was.
Mail delivery is going to suck for that building.
No, they'll have vacuum tubes and
I imagine they will have a train system running in the center of it. It's going to be it's going to be also it's going to have highways in the bottom of it, trains like a subway station, a canal, shopping. It's going to have the whole second floor is going to be like shopping mall all the way down through there. It's ridiculous how huge this thing's going to be.
so it's going basically it's going to be an arcology.
But the idea is it's going to be I'm sorry, not 180 mile, a 100 mile long mirrored skyscraper mega city. And see, I'm going to post a link in Stupid O'Clock, and then I'm going to post the picture. Well, I'll post the picture first, and then I'll let's see if I can get this picture because it looks like it's very sci-fi. Okay. Darn it! Why won't it let me? Wait, maybe it will. Darn it! Won't let me. I hate it when these things do this. It won't let me blow up the picture to show you better. You think these idiots have figured that stuff out by now?
What do you mean? All you gotta do is tell your computer enhance.
Really?
This is a picture of the building. This is what it's supposed to look like inside.
Okay, so it's
I like
it's
this.
It's like the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville. Okay.
Around the year temperate microclimate and natural ventilation.
I love how it's a golf course in the bottom right corner there.
Yeah, right.
And there's a picture of what it should look like when they're completed.
Okay. Easy strafing run.
Of course, it would make customs regulation really easy.
Really. Now all you got to do is
Now, I like that picture.
That's cool.
Oh, said the city would be car free. I thought they were going to put a highway through the center of it. Under.
No, they want people to walk.
Oh, hey, check this out.
It's only 115 miles to the nearest grocery store.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
So is she going to throw
apparently it's going to have teleportation devices. Yeah. That's how they're going to get around.
I thought she was going to throw a hammer at a movie
and
screen.
They're teaching other people to fly. Yeah. Apparently they have super soldier formulas.
They need to readjust the gravity.
Well, apparently that country hasn't invented brassieres yet, so which may be a plus.
The end of this, the girl is pulling off a pair of VR goggles.
You know, I don't remember a lot of women looking like that in Saudi Arabia because they were covered in burqas.
Okay.
It looks like a launch pad in Moonraker. Yes, it does. Doesn't it?
I don't have a problem with the concept of arcologies, which are, huge buildings that are a city.
I just, I
But
just don't.
in fiction, they rarely function as intended
Yes, I just
because
got,
human nature is a thing.
I just
Uh,
got done reading World War Z,
yeah.
and they were talking about how when it first came out that this zombie virus was going around, Israel walled off part of their country, pulled all the, and they sent out a call for all the Jews, no matter what nationality they were. Any Jew that wanted a safe haven, come into our bunkered area or our walled off city.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there looking at that going, I wonder if Saudi Arabia knows something about zombies we don't. That's,
Well, the other thing about World War Z was North Korea retreated into their underground bunkers and closed the doors.
and no one ever saw them again.
No one ever saw anything again because they welded them doors shut from the outside.
Uh, no, no one ever got that close because apparently North Korea put all of their air defenses and stuff on automatic revenge mode. So every time they tried to get into the country, something shot at them.
Um,
They booby trapped everything, and there was this one South Korean guy that wanted to go up there and see what was going on. They wouldn't let him. He wanted to lead a reconnaissance crew up there to see. He says, "We'll get in real quiet. Nobody will ever know there." And they said, "No, because we don't want you opening them doors.
that's right.
Because you might literally let out, 17 million zombies." So,
Just weld it shut. Once the automatic defenses are exhausted, or basically you just take one of them Star Wars lasers from orbit and weld it shut anyway. God bless Reagan. Gave us the orbital laser system.
I have always liked those things. Just every movie that had one. There was you had Akira. They had theirs,
Mm-hmm.
and then Final Fantasy: The Spirit Within had the Zeus cannon. That was pretty cool.
Wasn't it Real Genius that had one? It was a live action.
Sort of. They put it in a B-1 bomber. It was. Yeah.
I thought it was on the ground and then reflected, but
No, that was Spies Like Us.
okay.
The premise was originally a space shuttle that was shaped kind of like a crossbow. It was called the Crossbow Project. The proof of concept was in a B-1 bomber.
Right. But my favorite part was they were test firing the laser, and they went out in front of the quad, in front of the college, and there was that statue of the college's founder that had the big damn hole molten through the molten brass. And there was like molten brass flowing down out of the hole.
And then they follow it back to the restaurant, like, let's go eat. No. Yes.
Yes. Now. We weren't here.
And
nobody saw us.
Okay. I wonder if that movie got into the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest Jiffy Pop Popper.
The only trouble is you had to have the right amount of popcorn inside.
What is
and
it?
it probably would have took a dump truck load.
Get rid of that. I hate the smell.
It showed them going to that food warehouse and bringing out cases of popcorn.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I won't complain. It was a good scene.
Yeah, they loaded up a moving van full of popcorn.
Now the question is, how do you get enough aluminum? Because you can't just use regular aluminum foil on something that big; it just won't work. You would have to have gotten some sort of sheet aluminum to do that,
or
no.
some flavor of Mylar. They were working on government projects.
There are companies that make foil-backed insulation for the buildings. So maybe they got lucky. Just happened to have the foil or FSK insulation in the building,
Oh,
and
GI Joe had one of the super lasers too, if I remember correctly. One of the GI Joe.
Carl's got it. Didn't one of the houses have aluminum siding?
No, his house. He had personally gone through all the construction. Everything was made out of really nice wood, like the floors were teak. So he made Val Kilmer's character, whose name
Chris
I
Knight.
cannot remember at the moment, made him take off his shoes when he came in the house. So that house was all teak, and they put the laser reflector on a stained glass window. I do remember that, because when the laser hit the lead or whatever the metal they were using that held the stained glass together went molten, and the stained glass fell out. I was like, that's a pretty cool effect right there.
You know, I don't know the effect of teak when it's exposed to microwaves, butter, and salt. Might be interesting. I'm not going to pay to have the experiment performed, but it might be interesting.
I don't know. Well,
From a
now, Dawn's
distance.
talking about glass in the popcorn, because it bowed the house out. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen it. They built a Jiffy popper that was about 8 feet across.
Well, at least
And I think it was 4 or 5 feet high.
something like.
6 maybe, because what was his name? Kurt or the goofy guy.
You got to narrow that
yeah.
down a little bit. I mean,
No.
takes in 90% of the politicians in the U.S.
And Kurt, stop touching yourself. Wait, sorry.
Kurt, stop touching yourself.
It is God.
Dawn, I'm not posting that comment.
But that guy was about 6 foot tall.
Ish.
Kurt guy. At least he looked like he was about 6 foot tall.
I'm not leaving. Jeffrey's my friend. Yeah, no, I've never seen that movie. I can't quote large swaths of that.
Yeah, I've never seen it more than about 15 times. So,
hey, when we next show, when we talk to Joe, we need to see about getting you to put Real Genius in the run for HallowCon. So,
oh, okay. I've been working on something else, but it doesn't look like it's going to come through.
that was back when Val Kilmer was really cool.
I asked Mr. Sullivan to see if he could find me all of the now I can't remember
Donna, I've got it on videotape here somewhere, literally VHS. I have to go dig it up. But.
Well, it was the Hammer Horror Films Mummy movie and all the rest of the Christopher Lee. And then again, now I may be conflating that with something else that I wanted to get a hold of myself because I hadn't seen them. Drat.
Back in the old days, science fiction conventions used to have video rooms. And they'd have a projector or a big screen TV, and everybody go in and sit movies theater style and watch.
Can't do it on this computer.
And watch geek movies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss that because, matter of fact, I think the first time I saw Real Genius was at a sci-fi convention in a movie.
I've actually got to fire up that 10 terabyte drive and find out how much space I'm actually using on it. I might be able to load it to a smaller drive and bring it to HallowCon.
I don't know if you do anything at Costco, but Costco has this neat little portable hard drive
Mm-hmm.
that's SSD,
Yeah.
and it's cute. It's several terabyte and small, depending on which model you get. There's several terabytes in it.
I don't know that we have a Costco down here. We should, but I don't. If we do, I don't know where it is.
I think there should be one in Athens.
Mm.
I think.
I'm assuming there is one. I just don't know where it is. I'll be right back.
Have you heard about this guy that was on Asiana Airlines? And they always try to put some healthy person right in front of those emergency seats over the wings. So if there's an emergency, the healthy guy can get up, open the door, throw it out of the way, and help everybody out.
Yep.
And this Asian guy decided he got bored about halfway through the flight and opened the door, which I didn't know you could do that while the plane was in flight. I thought there was a safety device that you could not open those doors while the airplane was in operation. And they managed to land the plane safely. Had 194 people aboard. Well, 193 in one nutcase. But and then 12 people panicked. Symptoms of breathing difficulty, and some of them were taken to hospital. I've been bored on airplanes before, but I've never actually wanted to go out and take a walk. I've got some great old. I bought it at a convention, strangely enough. I actually have Yellowbeard on DVD, which I'm pretty sure is one of those convention bootlegs. Because you remember the big, 17-inch laser disc when Laserdisc first came out? I can't remember what size it was, about 17-inch. But I can remember people were making copies from the laser discs to VHS tapes and selling the VHS tapes at conventions to recoup the loss of buying a $50 laser disc.
Yeah.
Then they had those old, remember the projection TVs that you had red, yellow, and green spotlights in front of it that shot up onto the screen?
That actually no, the ones I remember were rear projection. So you had this cabinet that looked like a giant sized video game.
We had one of those it was in our company day room when I was stationed in Berlin. But they had these ones that there's a big screen, and then up front, toward the front of it, they had a light cabinet that had a red, a green, and a blue light, like a spotlight. And those were the projectors that each one would project its own color onto the screen at various things. It's kind of cool because if somebody was smoking in the room where that thing was, you could see the light projection coming off these things. I came back from Berlin, Germany, and went to a ChowderCon. They had a room party, and someone up in New York had brought down a videotape of the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It had not showed in the southern United States yet. It was due to show the next weekend. But apparently, they had showed it wherever he was from on television that Friday, and he'd recorded it, pulled the VHS tape out, got on the plane, flew down to the convention, and that Saturday had it in his room party VHS.
Wow.
A week before it premiered. So that was we already, yeah. We had fun watching that one. I love stuff
All
like
right.
that. Sometimes it's really fun to hang out with the right kind of geeks. Dan, you okay?
Yeah, I'm looking up external SSD drives at the moment. Oh, bugger. That's okay. 16 terabytes.
Ooh, there you go. Now you're talking.
External SSD drive. $75.
That ain't bad.
No, it ain't bad at all. And
Who makes it?
I don't have the faintest idea yet. It goes up to a 30 terabytes.
I see 5s and 8s are fairly common, and then I see 1 terabyte is very common.
The vendor is Geeked City, which I have never heard of before. I do not see who is actually making it. This looks so much like a Chinese scam, and
Apparently,
you get a thumb drive instead.
apparently Samsung apparently has the best quality external SSDs right now. They run on USB 3.1. There's 1 tera, there's 2 tera, but it's by Seagate. That's the number 2. And then a scan disk is number 3. It's also 1 terabyte. Scan disk also has 2 terabytes, number 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the 10 terabyte that I've got is a Western Digital, but it's not an SSD. Good God, this is too good to be true. I can't trust it.
I was looking at best products, and then there's a best buyer's guide. I want to see what buyer's guide says here. Strangely enough, their number 1 is the scan disk 4 terabyte.
Yeah, and that's a good name right there. I wish I knew who was actually manufacturing this thing.
And the Samsung is only the number 4 on theirs. I don't know why. Apparently, if SanDisk pays them, if ScanDisk pays them enough, SanDisk pays them enough, they get a lot in the review. Which I'm pretty sure is how all this AI review stuff works these days.
Whose mic is on overdrive right now?
Not mine.
What are you hearing?
Oh, it'd be Rich.
you are really turn down the overdrive and the gain just a hair.
Hang on a minute.
Better?
Well, you still got the reverb up.
No, wait a minute. Rich, don't do anything.
What? Step up.
I was doing it too, Dan. Now, Rich, talk.
All right, how's this?
Everybody?
Definitely better.
Yeah, I turned you down to 135%. You were at close to 200.
Okay.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden it like you could hear like the air in the background, and
You could hear molecules bumping into each other, exhibiting
Oh.
Brownian motion.
There was somebody on the road outside that was trying to prove how small the dick they had. So,
Oh, that is so common.
I'm a
Yes,
real man.
yes.
I don't need a muffler.
well, it was a motorcycle. Okay. No, seriously, that's a motorbike, not a motorcycle.
My car sounds really bad. Yeah, sounds like you don't know how to buy a good muffler.
Okay, evidently this thing is sold by several different companies, but nobody will tell me who the manufacturer is.
Really? Well, apparently that SanDisk 1 terabyte is very popular. So,
Yeah, but I've got more than 1 terabyte on this external drive. I've got my entire Doctor Who collection. I've got uh, almost all of my childhood cartoons. I mean, every episode of every season of about 300 different cartoons. And
when in this world, the
some movie.
headlines
I've got
tell
my
people
entire Godzilla
right
movie
this wrong,
collection.
right this wrong with blinding speed comes underdog.
Well, that's one I haven't tried to collect because that's
Oh, you just broke my childhood, Dan. You
hey,
don't
hey, I
collect
saw it
underdog?
first run. I saw it first run. I have not tried to obtain copies now. I was more concerned with Johnny Quest, of which I have everything.
Hey, race banning, teaching
Banner.
children the difference between cover and concealment since 1965.
Hmm.
the part where he's shooting the carbine from behind the bulldozer blade.
Yeah, really.
Says, yeah, hit me now.
Oh, what else is on there? All of my Godzilla movies, all my
Now
horror, all my Hammer horror movies. Um,
that's a series they should try and bring back.
what? Hammer
Johnny
horror?
Quest. Johnny
Oh,
Quest.
Johnny Quest. They've done it twice.
Yeah, and the problem is they always tried to make it like the original, which is great, fine and dandy. Yeah, but it's boring. They need to have
Well,
they need to have Johnny Quest grow up and be the primary protagonist in the series. You know?
oh, so you've read the book that's at my publisher now.
That he is the new Dr. Quest, and he has kids. That would serve him right.
Actually, he does have kids, but Benton's still alive too.
So now there are two Dr. Quests and a new pain in the ass kid that keeps getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm. And
they tried to give him a girl. The last one I saw was the new Johnny Quest, and they tried to give him a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Strange enough, they did not try to give Haji a girlfriend, which I was really upset about.
Well, Johnny's girlfriend in that was Race Bannon's daughter.
That was it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's acceptable. Haji,
hey,
you know,
it's
he's tried enough to find his own girlfriend. You know,
it's 2023. Haji needs his girlfriend. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, a love interest. Let's just leave it open-ended. Oh, hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
What the fuck else is on there? Hello. Oh, all kinds of sitcoms.
Really?
Britcoms. This hard drive is loaded with stuff. What?
AbFab?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Was the young ones?
No.
No. You said
no.
that. You said that rather violently.
I don't watch stupid shit. Well, except for the nightly news.
Okay. Hey, Young Ones was like the original stupid shit. Okay.
Evidently, my iPad just died.
Is it an Apple product?
Was that a rhetorical question, or
Pretty
would
much,
you
yeah.
like?
Uh,
Yeah, no, I just forgot to turn the charger back on, so I'm not going to be able to comment without having it show up on everything. Um, it's all right. It's
oh, um,
My
I
wife
cannot.
loves that show.
There was this one series. I cannot remember the name of it.
Faulty Towers. Yes, that's a great show.
The guy he was like a con man. He was always trying to do something. It was him, his son, and their buddy that helped him do stuff. And they were always getting into these weird con jobs, trying to make a buck.
Sounds like only Fools and Horses, but him and his brother and his granddad, or his buddies.
Well, there's the black guy they kept having. That was like their buddy that they would have do all the hard work. It's like the hired help, so to speak. And then, one of my favorite ones was they bought a truckload of VCRs for like
Mhm.
next to nothing.
Yeah.
They're going to turn around and say, but it turns out they were German VCRs, and
Hey, Steve.
they wouldn't work in England because they had the wrong voltage plugs on them. So they had to. And then the other one, he got a truckload of blow up dolls,
And they exploded.
self-inflating blow up dolls, but the people that had built them had put the wrong gas canisters on them, and instead
That
of
was
using
that was only Fools and Horses.
only okay.
Yep. That was. I have almost all of those.
And they had to go try and find. They had to go and try and get all the blow up dolls back before they
exploded and killed people. Yes.
Which was hilarious. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, you notice when Joe's not here, we get more people show up?
I wonder what that
Did I
is.
say that out loud?
I don't even know if I'm in the right room on the iPad.
Oh. So what were some of the other British? Of course, AbFab was just hilarious. Even. Oh, what was that one Joe likes with the old lady? The one where they were trying. She wanted to wax her private parts because they were going to the beach.
Mother Brown's Boys or something like that.
I believe that's the one, Mother Brown's Boy, and that.
Okay, it worked. I'm back. On the charger, it went dead at 29%. That's the first time the iPad's done that in a long time.
Sounds like an update changed your energy saving settings.
Probably.
Which happens quite often.
And I just got a big update on the iOS thing here last week because it took like 2 hours for it to download and install. It's an iPad. It's a thing. Not my favorite computer, but I have used it as an emergency backup computer to run my vast Apelian webzine empire before.
You have an empire?
Well, it's more of a dominion, but
a domain.
Yeah, I do have one of those. Well, yeah, I've got one of those. Stars say may have 2 or 3, but no, I haven't. I've just got the one.
I keep seeing this thing pop up on my feed, but I can't find it right now. When I want to find it, I can't find it. When I don't want to find it, it pops up everywhere. The United States government is trying to literally give away 6 lighthouses.
Where?
No clue, because I can't get it to come up when I want to read it. So.
Oh, okay. So they're possibly scattered all over the United States and our associated territories.
More than likely, though, it's one. If the government's giving something away, it means there's billions of dollars worth of repairs that need to be done before you can have it.
Sounds about right.
Oh, it's on the register of National Registry of Historic Places, so you can't actually fix it the way you want to. You got to fix it the way we want you to.
Well, I'm sorry, Dawn.
Oh,
Ancient
here it is. Hey, I
aliens.
found it. I'll be darned. It's from Business Insider, a name you can't trust. And let me see. The U.S. General Services Administration (GSA) is offering a record number of lighthouses to the public. GSA will give away 6 to nonprofits and government entities, and sell another 4 via public auction. The lighthouses are being offered as part of the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act, which means you're going to spend millions on the damn lighthouse.
If they got one in New Mexico, I'm interested.
Lynn Point Lighthouse, Old Saybrook, Connecticut. That's a nice one. It's got a big house attached to it. See, Nobska Lighthouse, Falmouth, Woods Hole, Massachusetts. Hey, that's near Woods Hole Oceanographic, isn't it? It's
You
got a
would
nice
know better
house.
than I.
It's got a very nice house attached to it too. Plymouth Gurnet Lighthouse, Plymouth, Massachusetts.
No,
knows
there's too
most of
many
these are-
Puritans up there.
Warwick Neck Light, Warwick, Rhode Island. And that's a small lighthouse, but it's got a nice size, not a big house, but nice size house attached to it.
My yard is bigger than Rhode Island.
This is weird. Little Mark Island and Monument, Harpswell, Maine, and looks like an Incan ruin. It's a big stone lighthouse, I guess.
It's Maine. Stephen King lives there. What do you expect?
I expect him to buy that damn lighthouse.
I expect him to haunt that damn lighthouse.
Erie Harbor, North Pier Lighthouse, Erie, Pennsylvania. That's one of those
Okay.
big steel box lighthouses that looks like they cut part of a ship off and stuck it on a foundation. Most of them are wooden lighthouses. A couple of them were steel. So it's kind of.
So they're basically forestry towers.
Well, no, they're solid, but yeah, for lack of a better term, pretty much like a forestry tower, but not steel you can see through. It's like a steel cupola with the light up on top.
Mm.
I imagine the wooden ones would take a lot of maintenance, but it's wood. You can do it yourself. The metal ones are like, it'd be like owning a ship. You'd have to have welders go in and
Yeah.
dry dock your lighthouse or whatever.
What is the thing that they call a boat? A hole in the water that you pour money into?
Yeah.
And yes, I would love to have a canal boat, but I don't have an infinite stream of money yet.
Yeah. Knock on plastic.
Really, somebody in Hollywood needs to option some of my books for movies so I could get rich, or wealthy, and Rich can take care of himself.
They used to have those defensive.
He's a good
towers.
writer. He can get a deal.
They used to have these defensive towers around England.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them date back to the Napoleonic War. Some of them date back to World War II. And the Air Force actually had a few along the east coast of the United States during the Cold War. And those go up for sale every so often. And what was that one you might know, Dan? The radio station that was off the coast of England that declared
Sealand. Yes.
Sealand. Thank you.
It's one of the sea forts that was built to
Mansell
combat.
Sea Fort. I don't know how I remember that, but I do remember the name Mansell Sea Fort.
There are several in different areas around the eastern and southern coast of England, and they are fantastic.
What does it mean when we're banned for 30 days?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the
got,
Mansell C.
yeah, and they're basically think an oil well without a drill. So they're just these platforms built there, armored, um, abandoned mostly since World War II, rusting away because salt water,
Well,
steel.
now Sealand, the supports are actually concrete.
Yeah, yeah. But the upper parts are not. Um,
But you know they issue passports, or used to.
it depends on whether or not they've been evicted at this particular point in time. I don't know. Um, there were a couple of them that got taken over freelance, basically, without paying any rent for pirate radio stations and whatnot. There's some of them that are tourist attractions. There are some of them that are being rebuilt by the National Trust to become museums. And they are just think an oil rig platform out in the ocean, but with no drill and anti-aircraft emplacements that have been removed. So uh, basically, what's a good of a cannon emplacement with the cannon trucked off to dry land? Um, no, these things are very very, in my opinion, a very elegant design for a problem that never arose. And it might be that the fact that they were built prevented the problem that they were planned to combat. Oh, hey, Chris. Um, yeah, Steve. The there were several of them that did pirate radio stuff, not just Sealand, but others scattered around the southeastern coast of England to the extreme southern coast, and they're quite famous. And
REM
um,
Island was a platform off the Dutch coast used by its pirate radio station. And then
REM Island. I
REM
wonder. I
Island.
wonder what band they were a fan of.
It would not be REM. I believe REM got their name from REM Island because that was the
No,
first one
REM
back.
got their name from Rapid Eye Movement. I live in Athens. I know the guys. Um, or I did back in my college days when they first got started. And that only very, very peripherally. I don't even know them well enough to call them by their first names if I could remember their first names. But,
Well, originally they didn't call it pirate radio in the UK. They called it offshore radio
mhm.
or border blasters.
Yeah, yeah, because you basically you didn't have a license for the radio station, but you were outside of the legal limit the laws regulated being offshore. Um, I think occasionally the laws got changed to shut a few of them down because they were.
Unlicensed radio and TV, Nordsee. They used REM Island in the Netherlands, and after it was declared, the structure was the seabed under REM Island, which was the offshore platform to which the structure was attached, was declared a Dutch territory. 5 days later, Dutch Marines boarded the platform and ended the broadcasting. They used eminent domain in that one.
Yeah, eminent domain is a very useful for governments
That was back in
uh,
'64.
thingy.
Um,
Yeah.
and then the Council of Europe in 1965 passed the European Agreement for the Prevention of Broadcast Transmitted from Stations Outside National Territories. Try saying that 3 times fast.
mm,
And see, they declared most of them unauthorized and could cause radio frequencies to be unusable. So, and then the UK enacted the Marine and Broadcasting Offences Act of 1967. But here's what's funny: they've got a list of all the different stations aimed at British listeners. You got Radio Caroline, Laser 558, Radio London, Radio City, Swinging Radio England, Britain Radio, Radio Scotland, Radio 390, Radio 355, Radio 270, Radio Atlanta, Tower Radio, Radio Seagull, Radio Essex, and CNBC, the Commercial Neutral Broadcasting Company. Hey, Joe. What's up?
Okay, we might as well play the. He's here. We might as well close the show.
I'm just hanging out here. That looks a little better. Okay.
Hey, Joe, give us the report. Who are you? Where are you at? And what are you doing?
And how did you find your way here? So we can close off that avenue.
Well, I'm at an undisclosed location in northwest Georgia with a bunch of people at a gathering. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you having fun?
Thrills.
You're bored out of your freaking mind, aren't you?
No shit.
It's not like it was one of your conventions. That's all right. I'm sure somebody's having a good time. Probably the bank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. I just thought I'd jump in and try to test out the wireless here for a possible show soon.
Which venue are they in? Where at?
You've been there.
No offense.
So has Dan.
But I wouldn't want to go to a sci-fi.
Okay, so we know exactly where that is, John.
Y'all been here at the same time, as a matter of fact, twice.
Yep. It is familiar territory. Unfortunately, Joe Dog's got a bad wireless connection there, or the venue is not boosting the signal like they did when we were there for our event.
Yeah. That special router's not hooked up, but all right, guys, I'm gonna jump out of here.
All right. Well, have fun. Be
Have
safe.
fun, Joe Dog.
Is Donna all right? Is Donna doing good?
Oh yeah, Donna's actually out here. She's having fun.
Great. Because Lindsay's been worried about her for the last couple of weeks, so I'll be able to tell Lindsay Donna's doing okay. That'll reassure her a lot. There. What? Well, I see a hand. Oh, there's a reprobate right there. If I ever saw one.
They got both of us in the same room. That's trouble.
Not if the doors are locked from the outside.
All right, I'm out of here, guys.
See you, Joe Dog.
Say bye.
Thanks for checking in.
Uh, if it'll let me go.
He still hasn't learned how to use the buttons.
Darn these kids and their technology.
Their technology, yes. Ah, good grief. Well, yes, John, we know exactly where they are.
We need to get like a map, countries that they can see as any countries they can't. Because I'm pretty sure right now, I'm pretty sure North Korea doesn't watch us.
North
China,
Korea doesn't watch anybody.
Russia.
No, I'm sure Russia's watching us. We're entertaining. We got to be better than the Vladivostok swimsuit competition.
Beg your pardon? Russian women in Vladivostok are actually
About 400 pounds each, yes. Steve Rich is still here. He's just left because his wife is home. And he's snuggling and canoodling and things like that. So that is my guess. I do not know.
No,
I do
I'm
not have
fighting.
cameras.
I'm fighting with Amazon and an Amazon or sorry, an American Express gift card for something for Crow, and it's
My story was much better. You should have left it at that.
being extremely frustrating.
Hey Dan.
I'm still here. I'm just in the background.
Dan.
Russian women have to be kind of attractive since they're so easily shipped off to other countries for people to buy as brides.
See if I can zoom that.
Yeah, so there's 5 good-looking women in Vladivostok. That is hardly the stirring recommendation that you may think it is.
5 more that you didn't know about. Hey, with your luck, they like sci-fi writers.
I'm not looking. I've got my goddess.
That's usually when you find them.
I've got exactly what I want out of life. I don't need anything else. Matter of fact, I've been what?
She's standing behind you, isn't she?
No, she went to bed 2 hours ago. She's sound asleep. Do you
Carl,
have the faintest idea how many women I have to turn down?
Strangely enough, when I started going to those sites about the Russian aggression in Ukraine, I started getting just tons of those ads.
Mm-hmm.
Russian women looking for guys, Ukrainian women looking for guys. So, apparently, they lost a lot of guys in this war.
No, not really, because every country around the world has got women looking for U.S. guys. And some of them actually look like they might be part of the population of the countries that they are purportedly from. I don't know how many Italian women live in Ecuador, but going from appearances, or Scandinavian women that live in South Africa or whatever. just going from appearances. I'm not trying to judge. It's just um, there's this uh, disenfranchised prince in one of the northern African countries trying to give me $1 million, and I'm going, I can't pay the taxes on that. That's a gift. I mean, seriously, it's like 68%. It's not worth my while to give you my bank information for a mere $58 billion. Seriously, dude, grow up. Um, okay, that was random. You should be used to that shit from me. Sudden silence from other end of broadcast. Houston, we may have a problem, and it's probably me.
No, you're good.
We're here.
Well, physically here, mentally.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit! What?
Roger Waters, co-founder of the seminal rock band Pink Floyd, is being investigated by German police for wearing a costume that he says parodied the Nazis. Apparently, he was wearing a black leather coat with the hammer insignia from Pink Floyd's Wall, and did some sort of performance in Germany. Yes,
They get a little persnickety about being reminded of that.
Yeah, well,
they do. I almost got arrested one night for I was a wee bit inebriated. I was at a bus stop trying to get back to the barracks, and we were waiting in line. And this old couple was standing in front of me. We were all waiting on the bus, and I just real quick snapped to attention and go, "Sieg Heil!" And they snapped to attention too.
mm-hmm. So
I was
you accidentally exposed a couple of ex-Nazis or old Nazis, and they got pissed off and called the cops.
I was inebriated. It was funny as hell.
Or people with PTSD. That was.
I don't know what they said in German, but I'm pretty sure it was not good.
Yeah, you were not the nice white American boy. That is not what that translated to.
Yeah, but he's the nice white American boy with a rocket launcher, so fuck off.
Well, I was in civilian clothes at the time, but of course,
they could have got him dumped in an empty field.
Yeah, I had the neo-Nazi haircut, so yeah.
You were in the army.
Yeah. And back in those days, every haircut you had in the American Army made you look like a neo-Nazi. Hey,
take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling.
We were on a train one night. We were going downtown, and we got on this train car. Literally at the other end of the train car were these 4 neo-Nazi guys. And they were harassing this girl on the train. Of course, being American soldiers, we said, okay, we're going to put a stop to this. So we go over there like we're going to start a fight. And it didn't occur to us that we're all dressed, we're in civilian clothes, but it's sort of military civilian clothes, you know. And we got the same haircuts that these guys have got. So we go over there like we're going to start something. This girl jumps up with a can of pepper spray in an enclosed subway car.
Oh.
Instant de-escalation and sudden search for evacuation.
While it's rolling down the tracks, nobody's getting off this damn car. Okay. And
No, not for half an hour or so.
Old ladies, you know, just everybody in the car is like, God, what? You know, Now, here's what's funny. I don't know how they did it, but when we got to the next station, the police were there waiting on us. This was before cell phones.
Well, the trains have communication.
Radios, yeah.
Okay.
Well, radio, telegraph.
The police
Smoke
asked
signals.
what was going on. The thugs told their side of the story, which admittedly they didn't really do anything wrong. Okay.
But they were trying to.
And then they talked to us, and we were like, we were going to go over and help. And then they arrested the girl with the pepper spray.
With it just
Because apparently, remember the old lady I told you about on the train?
Mm-hmm.
She started complaining to all the police, and they just said, "You're going to jail," and arrested the girl with the pepper spray. Because I don't know what she told them, because I couldn't keep up with that level of German. But
Civilian casualty.
yes, and we all. And here's what's funny: we went and got all the pepper spray off of us in a fountain right outside the train station. So we got one, and we went down, and we were in a bar, and we ran into
Euro trash girl.
the same neo-Nazis in the bar. They wound up drinking with them all night.
It's better than getting arrested for beating them up. Marginally.
Yeah.
One of them I kept seeing the whole time I was in Berlin. I'd go in a bar at night. And he'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
All right. I'm going to go and.
Hang on. Before you go and do something, let me do something real quick here. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, you can go flip the chicken now.
You required my presence for that. Yes, I've got to go flip my chicken.
Go flip
I've
your
got to get another beer.
Is that
I've
what they're
got to
calling it?
get a refill on the whiskey, and
Is that what the
I'll
kids are?
probably still be back in time for the end of the show
You should. Yes.
because I move rapidly fast, like one of Richie's cats when I want to.
Well, Barry's been moving really slow today.
Good night, Carl.
I think he's sick.
We've got one of the grandmother cats that may be approaching the end.
Yeah, Barry has barely touched his food today.
I made that same comment, John, when he went to flip the chicken before the show started.
That's what the
You
kids
love-
are calling it these days.
Yep.
Oh. Well, folks, it's almost that time. Hope y'all have a good weekend. Hope you enjoy your day off. I always hate this time of year. It brings up bad memories. Brings up good ones too. So, fortunately, the good ones outweigh the bad ones.
That is good.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be heading to bed after the show ends. I'm starting to fade quick.
Oh,
It's hell getting old. Even though I'm the youngest one in the room right now. But
You were the youngest one in the room all night.
this is true.
trying to figure out if I want to trim that brisket up tonight or let it sit all night and do it in the morning.
Trying to decide what I want to pull out to grill tomorrow night.
Better figure it out quick because you got to get that stuff thawed and marinated or whatever. Well, I don't marinate hot dogs.
Yeah, I did some chicken breasts on the grill tonight. There's a Amish place about an hour and a half from where I'm at. They got a nice little general store, and they have some of their own seasonings and stuff. They have one called Chicken Dust that was actually quite nice to put on there.
Where's that, over by Shipshawana?
Down
You're
by
late for the
Rochester.
show.
Night time.
Good night, Don.
Wasn't she supposed to be on the show like 10 minutes ago or something?
Yeah.
So,
Damn it.
I've got a couple steaks, but I'm not sure if I want to do them tomorrow or the next day. I'll probably do them Monday. Bought corn. We have potatoes, so I'll do the steak, potatoes, and corn.
There you go.
I might do. I've been thinking about some potato salad, but I don't know. I may put that off. Figure it out later.
Yeah, I might do. Let's see if I got any pork steaks left.
I bought a cheap little roast because if I couldn't find a brisket, I was just going to marinate the heck out of one of those real quick, and slice up the brisket. Because I bought all those sandwich fixings for making Reuben sandwiches, and then that brisket turned into
a biscuit brisket.
Snackable, and so I went back and I got the 5-pound brisket instead of a little 2-pounder.
2-pound would have made several sandwiches, but
You'd think, but it turned out.
yeah. Well, I don't have the experience of cooking it, so I wouldn't know for sure. But
Well, you're also looking at 2 pounds before versus 2 pounds after.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had larger chunks of meat in an MRE packet. Okay.
That's not a glowing review there.
Yeah.
I kid you not. One of my favorite MRE entrees was ham slices, and it was it's about that thick, about as thick as a dime, about 4 inches across, about the size of an MRE packet, about that big, and it was bigger than sandwich sized, and thick. It's fairly tasty. Had a lot of preservatives in it, though. You could tell, just
because your blood pressure went up.
oh, big time. But it was processed ham, one big chunk of processed ham.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Hormel's treat? I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Armour has Spam. Hormel has Treat, if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
it was. But the thing is, it was real ham. It was good ham. If you get the MRE bread and some of the white cheese, it was awesome. But
oh, we've got one of the oval cans of processed ham. Yeah, Danish ham. And I have been trying to think of what to do with it, and my wife is going, hurry up. And otherwise, it's going to wind up sliced up on cheese and crackers. But
don't laugh. You get make you an hors d'oeuvre plate and just take you a fork and pull out chunks of it. That's the best way.
Well, yeah, I have done that before with veggies and dip and things like that. Just make a whole smorgasbord, minus the sandwich bread. But
you have to find the one thing I used to love that stuff on, Melba toast. But Melba toast appears to be seasonal now.
no,
Guess what time it is, folks?
it is that time.
Is that
Kind of GTFO.
So,
Yep.
want to thank everybody for showing up. Hey, Joe, thanks for clocking in for like 2 minutes. Nice way to show up there, management. Oh, I'm sorry, not Joe Bachman, the guy that
actually owns this channel.
Yeah, made the cursory.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure y'all were still awake.
Dan, thanks for running the shows. Rich, thanks for showing up. And Joe, thanks for showing us a bunch of construction equipment.
And John, thank you for ending the show so I can start mine.
So, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.
Did not get away with it. Fuck, 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 fuck.